Hey there, my friend. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm your host, Wendy Batten. Did you ever think about the fact that nothing ever stays the same? Hanging on to our old ways and being unwilling to shift is not how you grow a brand or a business in 2026. It also wasn't how you built a business back in 2016 or 2006. The retail landscape is changing. It's always changing. That's nothing new. I feel like there's this trend of things are always changing or things are changing now and they've always been changing. Let me tell you, after 3 decades of self-employed life, things are always going to change. So we have to be willing and committed to how our brand is going to stay relevant and relevant to us and relevant to our customers and their changing habits and to our brand's needs. This is nothing new. It's a constant. This is what owning a business is all about in 2026 and every year. Today feel like I just needed to mention that. I always feel like, oh, the changing retail landscape. Yep, changing all the time. So today I've invited back one of my mastermind members, Amy Cseh from Schoolhouse Salvage. I've asked her to join us to chat about the incredible success that she's had over the last few years. And it's because things are always changing. So there's a few things that I wanted to mention before we jump into our conversation. First, I really admire the heck out of Amy and the way that she's able to look at her business with her CEO hat on. She's making decisions from a place of data, heart, and intuition. Pay attention to that. Her business is changing and shifting, and it has been over the years. We've been working together for a long time, and I've seen all these different iterations. I just keep admiring the ability that she has to make those shifts for the best. Like, the best shifts are coming because she's making them from a point of view of what does the brand need? What do my customers need? What does my team need? What do I need? Like, her family runs her business. It's a family-run business. It's not always easy being self-employed. Amy is not playing at retail. She is building a solid and reputable retail business. It has grown substantially, and it's also grown on purpose. And I feel like that takes a lot of grit, and I just wanted to call that out. The second thing I wanted to mention about Amy and why I invited her here, why I invited her back on, is she's had incredible success with her team. She's building an incredible team. She's building an incredible community. They have the biggest hearts. Like, it is crazy to watch. You have to see what's happening. She leads a team that she loves, but here's the kicker. She also trusts them. Together, they are building a culture of, I don't know, I'm calling it a culture of joy and caring, along with profitability, but they're curating what and how they do things, and they're doing it on purpose for their community. There's that word again, on purpose. Amy's being very intentional about how she's building her business. It is crazy to watch what they've built, like, seriously. So none of this is easy. None of us has been easy. It takes a leader who's committed to success, a leader who's aligned in vision, and who's willing to learn from mentors and shift and experiment with new ideas. What I mean by that is Amy is always looking through the lens of up the road. What's happening in the business? What's happening in the industry? What do I need to do? How do I need to move? And that's not easy. You guys know that it's not easy. She also, and this one's funny because she also leaves the ego at the door when she's making decisions for the business. And nobody really likes doing that, but I just want to shout out to Amy and say that I know that how hard that is. And I also see that with so many other clients. That's the secret, the seeds to success. She is leaving her ego at the door to ensure that her brand, her tiny team, as she calls them, and her amazing customers are taken care of. And also, Amy has a gift of generosity with her team. Again, her customers, again, so can you see the thread here? Her generosity with her team, her customers, and I'm going to shout out because she's so generous with the members, the fellow members inside our Level Up Mastermind and retailers in her circle with what she knows and how she's doing what she's doing and sharing ideas. And just, I love a generosity is one of my core values, and I just really admire that in her. So I also, lastly, the third thing that I wanted to share on why I asked Amy to come in is I want you to listen to what she says about being willing to experiment. being willing to pay attention to your customers. Again, putting that CEO hat on and really paying attention to what your brand needs, your customer needs, your team needs, whatever is shifting in your business. And again, it's always going to be shifting. So Amy's going to share with you how she's recently shifted. Not recently, it's just been a slow experiment that's been working really well with her. And that has exploded for her and her business. Like it's exploded like crazy with social selling. So what she's doing with social selling, how she's doing it, how it's working for her. She's going to share all the nitty gritties. And at the urging of her amazing coach, me, she's also sharing all the nuts and bolts through a new course that she has. And I'm just so proud of her around that. So I talked her into coming in, to take out some time to come in and share with us today. Again, even if you're dismissing social selling as being something that you want to explore in your shop, and we talk a lot about the social selling side of things, but this episode is full of nuggets on stepping into your role of CEO, understanding the needs of your business. And I really think that you're going to find a lot of value out of this episode and from Amy herself. So without further ado, let's jump into the podcast. Let's hear from Amy at Schoolhouse Salvage. Running a retail business doesn't have to be so hard. Welcome to the Creative Shop Talk podcast, the go-to podcast for creative shop owners, studio owners, and independent retailers. I'm your host, Wendy Batten, retail business coach and mentor. Each week, I'll share simple, proven business strategies, inspiring stories from fellow retailers, and advice from industry experts. Together, we're going to work to find the success you want from your retail business with more profits in your till and a little more joy in your life. Friends, I have a treat for us today. I am excited to introduce to you Amy Cseh from Schoolhouse Salvage. Amy has been on the podcast before.
Yeah.
This
Yep.
is we're going to talk about a few new things and what's new in your business. So Amy Cseh, welcome back to the Creative Shop Talk podcast.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, for those who don't know you, I know that you have such a big following, even amongst fellow retailers. I'm like, who doesn't know Amy? But let's start at the beginning. You want to share a little bit about who you are, where you are, what you
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
Tell us a little bit about your shop.
Yeah, it's so crazy you say that because I feel like we're in our own little world up here and just doing our own thing and no one knows us. So that's so interesting that you say that. So this is our 13th year in business, which is bananas. I know. Started in a little storage unit, have evolved several times as we have pivoted to serve our customers. We currently are located in a warehouse in Chagrin Falls, Ohio, which is outside of Cleveland. We also have a remote satellite office in Seattle, Washington, so both sides of the country.
Fun.
Yeah, it's so crazy. Our main business model right now, because we are currently pivoting and always trying to serve where our customers are, is that we are about 95% online only, open Sundays only to the customers in our local market. And the rest of the time, we're online doing live social selling and serving our customers online, which has been so incredibly gratifying. And the community it's amazing, the community that we have online. So that's what we do. Antiques and vintage is our main product. We don't really do any wholesale, so we are 99% out and about finding vintage and scaling what I call the unscalable. That was our goal for 2025 and 2026, was to scale the unscalable, and we are really starting to see that happen for us.
Let's talk a little bit about, and it has been so fun watching you do this, but let's talk a little bit about this is not how you started. You had vendors. Can you just give us a little tiny snapshot of over the last 13 years, what has been in a snapshot, evolution of Schoolhouse Salvage?
So we are an environmental consulting and a historic rehab company umbrella, huge umbrella of that. A portion of what we do started out salvaging historic elements from our rehab projects. So that was the genesis of what we did. We are on demolition projects and we would see a lot of building waste just going in the dumpster. So Ron is my husband, decided that we would just start getting all the stuff and parking it in a storage unit. Literally 2 storage units in the middle of December is how we started. And we knew that we could bring it to market because people were looking for those types of things. We love those types of things. So we started doing that. We went into a 1,400 square foot warehouse, added some antiques, supplemented that a bit. We were open to the public 3 days a week. We moved to a 4,000 square foot to a 10,000 square foot, mainly trying to serve the brick and mortar model and the online model. We've been online 8 years doing live social selling. So really positioned ourselves 8 years ago because I'm not like a sit around kind of person. So when the shop was slow, we just decided to turn on Facebook and see if somebody would buy what we were selling.
Yeah.
And we were off to the races. So that started 8, 9-ish years ago. And it's really just evolved from there. So we change and go with the flow. Sometimes in a whole entire year, we were open 7 days a week. We went to 3 days a week, just really trying to find what works for us from an inventory perspective and from what the community wants. So we've just evolved to where we are now, which is 95% online.
So let's talk about that evolution. Were most of those decisions and I do love your, hey, we're not busy today. Let's turn on the camera. And I've watched you execute that beautifully. We need sales today. Let's just turn the camera on. And I actually don't understand. I literally don't understand why other retailers don't do that on slow days. But anyhow, I digress around that. But so let's talk about the decisions. How are the decisions made? How have they been made? Have they been community driven or financially driven or energy driven? Can you just share a little bit with our audience? Is it we just see something's working? I know the answer to this, but I want you to share with people, how are you
Yeah,
deciding, like, how did you go from mostly brick and mortar to mostly online sales, like mostly in store? Like
I think largely the genesis for us was we were open 4 days a week. And the time slot that we started going live in was the one night we stayed open late for our customers, which was a Wednesday night, and nobody came in. They say nobody came in. So we had that time slot already where we, meaning me, this is just me. So everybody, now I have a team of 15 people. This was literally just me in my store on a Wednesday night, irritated that no one was coming in, wondering how I could pay the rent. Let's be real honest. We are all doing this every day. How do I pay the rent? Let's turn on the camera. So that started prior to all of the COVID issues and the shutting down our stores. So we were positioned well for that. So with COVID shutting down, we pivoted like every single other person and we just doubled down and did what we had to do. So the decision making for me is always driven by how are we going to keep our numbers up, our finances in place, get new customers? Just how do we keep the business going? That's what we're all doing. And ideas, bad or worse, they just happen and we just implement them. There is no discussion, there is no focus group, there is, all right, this is what we're doing today, which worked really well when it was just me. But now we're evolving into a team structure and we are putting more systems in place under the guidance of my business coach so that the communication is a little bit more thought out. But literally, you make a decision based on what's working. And I am a firm believer if it is working, double down and push that lever. Like we are all in on Facebook. Y'all are sitting there going, Facebook, it's blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you, Facebook is the most underutilized platform right now. I am telling you, double down on what works. I have tried like being swayed with, oh, you need to do the TikTok and the Instagram and then this and the that. There's so much business right in front of you that you're not even tapping into, and for us, it's Facebook. It is ridiculous. From 20-year-olds to 80-year-olds, they're all there. So we double down on what works. Hopefully that was the answer. That was a very long-winded answer.
no, I love that. Yeah.
We double down on what works. It makes sense. It's not rocket
Yeah.
science.
I do think, yeah. And I've watched you also experiment. Not everything works, right? We try things. We try different times. We try different things. So let's back right out then for a second and let's talk about live sales, also like we call it social selling. So for anybody who's listening and they don't understand social selling or what do you mean you just turn the camera on? So I know sometimes I feel like verbiage maybe like social selling gets lost in the, I don't know what she's talking about, or that you may have, if you're listening, you may have a preconceived notion of this is not for me. And I want you to like it could be for you. Like it could be
For
for you.
sure. Yeah.
Be open to ideas. So could you explain in a very simple terms, what do we mean when we say live sales slash social selling, which to me is the same thing? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So social media, that's where we're all at. So if you're posting pictures on social media to sell something, you're social selling.
Yeah.
You're selling on social media. If you're not selling on social media, I don't know how you're getting any business because that's where people are finding you. Email, yes. I'm sorry. Don't yell at me. Email, yes. Some direct mail, but social selling, you're already doing it. You're posting on Facebook, you're posting on Instagram, wherever you're living on social media, you're already social selling. That's
Mhm.
all social selling means. Live social selling, you are going to be at the forefront if you start now. It is coming. Live social selling. All that means is that you are doing it live. It doesn't need to be forward facing on your beautiful face if you are feeling uncomfortable about your own self. Turn the camera around. Just turn your camera on. That's the live part of it. Turn it on. I have a friend. She will remain unnamed because she's a friend of both of ours.
Uh-oh.
I encourage her weekly. Turn your camera on a beautiful display in your store. If you don't want to do shipping, I think that's also a very big barrier for people that I hear is they don't want to do shipping. Perfect. You have thousands of people in your neighborhood that are sitting on their couch, don't want to leave their house for whatever reason, that will buy from your beautiful display and drive up and pick it up. Think about what your customers are doing. So turn it on your beautiful display. Turn the camera on. If somebody, like it's somebody's walking through your display, show them what you have and give it a call to action. Don't just show them what you have. Just say, you guys, we have these beautiful things in today. Do you want to buy them? Who wants to buy this? It's $12. It's $500. And it's not just for $5 and $10 items. Who wants this beautiful piece of furniture? You can't get in, you homebound, you want this dresser? Let me measure it for you. Come pick it up. Complete the sale, ask for the sale, call to action. That's what we're here for. Super simple.
Yeah. And it is interesting to me, the resistance around, it really is interesting to me, the resistance around social selling, like live social selling, or even if you have to, it's not live. I agree with you. I think live does push it out more, but it's the interaction with your community as well, the conversations, the like, and we'll talk a little bit later about what you've built, but and how amazing it is. But people love that. Like you can say, "Hey, Susie, thanks for I see you there. Thanks for saying hi," or whatever. Susie loves that. Acknowledgement is
It
so
is
great.
it is entertainment with a commerce component, and Gary
Right.
Vee says commerce-tainment, and I wholeheartedly believe that
Yeah.
you are entertaining and also possibly getting the sale. They are there to be entertained, and you're building this community that if you aren't there when you say you're gonna be there, you've disrupted their day because they
Yes.
wanna see you.
I
And,
know.
"Oh, by the way, that's a great candle. I'll buy that." And if 30 people say, "Oh, by the way, that's a great candle. I appreciate you entertaining me." You've just made 30 sales.
I know. It's the way of, and again, going back to what you do and what the possibilities are and the hesitation. I'm gonna talk about the hesitation of turning the camera on your beautiful faces. Let me also say what I see right now is if somebody's walking into your store, they're gonna see you. Like, are we not talking to people when they walk into our store? Are we
Right.
not
Do you
welcoming
want
them
30
in?
people in your store right now?
Yeah,
Let's just talk about it. You're standing
yeah,
at your counter. Your
yeah,
staff is standing at your counter. Would you like to have 30 people in your store? I'm thinking the answer is probably yes.
yeah,
Turn the camera on. You have 30 people instantly shopping in your store. Instantly. There
yeah.
should be no hesitation.
Yeah. And so somebody said to me the other day, I only ever average at the beginning. And again, I'll pull this down a little bit more. I only have 3 people watching at a time to start. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
3 people in your store. Just keep going. Like three
Yeah.
people will tell 3 more friends. But yeah, it's crazy. But again, that whole not being on camera, the second part, there's 2 parts to this. One, again, people are coming into our stores, they see us. And like
Such a
my
great point.
my hair's not done and my makeup's not done or whatever. If you don't feel good enough to go on live, then what are you doing in your
What are
store?
you doing at your
Yeah,
store?
what are you doing in the store? If you don't feel like you're presentable, we're
Mhm.
not looking for whatever perfectness. And that's the other part of it. The second part is this is in my opinion, the key, and I talk about this all the time in our coaching groups, I talk about it on the podcast, humanity, show your human side. Nobody's perfect. Imperfect is actually, in my opinion, real and better because none of us are perfect. Like there's going to be things that fall, and it's like there's going to be like you're going to lose your words for a minute. You're just going to laugh at yourself.
Yeah.
This is what human to human contact. And I
You're going to
think,
make so many connections.
yeah,
Last night was a perfect example. I was not having it. We had a lot of technical issues, so many technical issues, and I was very frustrated, and I was trying to continue on and make our goal. And my community was so incredibly lovely with their cheering us on and we don't care, Amy. I said, you guys, I think I'm gonna just knock it off because I'm so frustrated. Please don't knock it off, Amy. You could drop everything on the floor and we don't care. Nobody cares. I
Mhm.
think part of it is you and I are very used to talking to ourselves on the camera because you see yourself the whole entire time. That's very foreign to people, and especially if you have a little bit of self-esteem issue or a little bit of angst over that, you're literally staring at yourself the whole time, and I'm doing it right now. I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you have hair that looks like this right now." No one cares. Like, 0 people care, and you have to get out of your own way here. You're
Mhm.
being so self-centered. Nobody cares. Bring
Yeah,
what you
yeah.
have. Bring your gifts to your audience. That's the way we feel. We,
Mhm.
yes, are here to sell. I'm telling you, we are here to sell, but we feel very strongly that we have gifts as a team that we are bringing to our audience, and our audience needs us for one reason or another. They're lonely, they're looking for something, they want a friend. Our job is to serve that audience. Get out of your own way. They don't care what you look like. And you
Yeah.
turn the camera around. Don't show yourself. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I know. I think it's, and I do think, let's go back to you mentioning the future. You said it's coming. It's going to be big. It's big now. It's already,
Yep.
I'm watching a lot of my private clients that I have like literal privileged seeing like the numbers. Like I see the results and I see what's happening.
Yep.
Those that are doing it. And again, there's a start, there's like a frustration maybe start, or maybe there's not, but nobody's doing it perfectly. You just said you guys have you still have messy days. We all have messy days. We all
Mhm.
have, no one's got everything figured out, because I do hear the story. Once I figure it all out and it's perfect, then I'll turn the camera on. And I feel like you can't learn, none of us can learn if we're not ready to be a beginner at something or start something.
Oh my gosh.
And we
You
have
know,
to be thinking future. And yeah, and that again, I'm a big believer in what Gary Vee says around that too. Yeah.
yeah, globally, there are markets that are far beyond us with live social selling. So when I say ground floor, that's ground floor in my little corner of the world.
Yeah.
We're on a platform, 99% of what we do is on Facebook. Has no infrastructure for live social selling. No infrastructure. You don't attach it to a shop. You don't have automatic checkout. There's no infrastructure on Facebook. I
Yeah.
wholeheartedly believe that there will be, and I'm ready for it, but
Yeah.
I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for anything. I made a system that worked for me to sell on Facebook to
Yeah.
the tune of 7 figures a year,
Yeah.
simply selling to Facebook. But I do want to tell you, my page is huge, in my opinion, like over 100,000 people. We have average of 140 people watching each video. 7 figures
Yeah.
when we have about 140 people watching, and we've boiled it down to maybe sometimes there's 20 people buying.
Yeah.
The rest are just watching. If you stop and think of those numbers, so you tell me you have 3 people watching, I don't care because I have 140 watching, but only 15 that night are really wanting to spend money. That's 15 people.
Yeah.
That's the
Conversion. Like,
smallest
it's
corner
just,
of my page, like the smallest.
yeah. Yeah.
The opportunity is there to create whatever you want. If you don't want to live on Facebook, create it on Instagram. Do wherever you feel comfortable. The opportunity is there. You have to, if I will say, if you're looking to level up your business and if you're looking to add a revenue stream, that's very important because you teach us that all the time. It's very important to know what you want for your business and don't just do this because you think it's the next thing.
Right.
Because if it's not what you want for your business, you will not succeed at it. You
I agree.
will not succeed. So
Yeah.
that's in my opinion, the very first step. Are you looking to add a revenue stream? And is this the one that will work the way you currently operate your business? If not, do you want to make the shifts required? You have to answer
Exactly.
those questions first.
What kind of retail do you think this is what type of retail is this for? You're saying
Every
vintage?
single type,
Yeah.
every single type, from toothbrushes to luxury goods, every single type. I think that you see it. You see
I was gonna say I'm watching it. I just that's a hesitation.
luxury goods being sold, real estate transactions being done. If I was a realtor, I would be live selling the houses that I'm walking through. There is no industry or product that this does not work for.
I
Doesn't.
agree. I honestly can't think of any product, anything that's a product service that
Nothing.
that it wouldn't work. And it is working, and we are seeing it when it's done right. But I know that's a hesitation. This would not work with my products. That's what I hear the other day. I heard somebody say that about jewelry the other day, and I'm like, have you
What?
ever watched QVC? We're like the modern day QVC. I don't even know. Is QVC even still a thing? I don't
Oh,
know.
it's huge.
Yeah. So
QVC is huge, and
because
that's
people are
what
sitting
this
at
is.
home. Right. Yeah.
QVC.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about consistency. Like, how often should we be doing sales? I'm thinking I know what your answer is going to be. Because the consistency. So we're telling our people
Yeah.
we're going to go live.
So consistency is key in my opinion. So I when talking to people that are talking about wanting to do this, tell them to look at their week, figure
Mm,
out a pocket of time that
right.
they can always meet. Always. For me, it started out being Wednesday nights because that's when I was in the store, and we have not missed a Wednesday night
Yeah.
more than twice in probably 8 years. Wednesday night, 5:30 every single Wednesday, and
Yeah.
we just built upon that. So pick a time slot. It can be Monday morning at 10 a.m., coffee
Mhm.
time. You could
Yeah.
do any day of the week, any time of the week. You're going to tell me, "Well, I don't know when people are shopping and I can't pick a time slot." Knock it off. People are shopping all the time. We broadcast at 10 a.m., noon, 9. People are always shopping. People are always hanging out. So pick a time slot that works for you and commit to always doing it.
Which is exactly what we're like. I see that working every time. So thank you for sharing that. The
And
other,
Wendy, that goes to what you said. If you decide to be open on Monday afternoons in your
yeah,
store,
yeah,
are you just not going to be open on Mondays because you don't feel like
right,
doing it? You're
yeah,
open. You're
yeah,
open for business. Pick your
yeah,
time slot and commit to it. And I'm telling you, you got to give it some time, people. You got to give it some time. And there are marketing strategies around how to build that up so you're not talking to yourself, but pick a time slot.
yeah. So I do think let's talk a little bit. You've created a course, and I want to pull down some other things around community and stuff too. You've created a course. I'm going to say it's because you got nudged a lot, and I know people were asking you a lot. I believe your coach was nudging you a lot to
It
share
was.
what just because I think there's a lot of lack of how like everybody gets tied up in the weeds, right? So yes, I can turn the camera on. Yes, I can sell this stuff in my store, but what are the logistics? What are the tech? What is the tech? So what are the things that you're seeing like that like that people are getting blocked? Where are they getting blocked? Like how are we handling shipping? How are we handling, like you just said earlier, we could do pickup if you don't want to do shipping.
Mhm.
Although shipping expands your reach because
Yeah,
I might not be driving in 3 hours, but I might be shopping from anyway.
exactly.
But what are the main blocks
Barriers.
that
Yeah.
barriers that?
I always hear, how do I keep track of the sale while I'm selling things? How do I complete the purchase? There's a lot of different steps to it that people like to make a barrier. We love to make it hard on ourselves. That's one
Yeah,
thing that I'm not a business coach. And yes, Wendy did
yeah,
inspire me to write all this down in a course format. And I love to explain it to people, but
yeah,
I am not a person that's going to listen to your barriers. How do you keep track of it? We keep track of it with a Post-it note. It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
technical.
yeah,
So if we were selling something, literally, I'm gonna give you the back though. This is the secret sauce. And
yeah,
Lee asked me about this the other day. She goes, "Okay, I watched one. How are you keeping track of it? What's your system?" I said, "Here's the item we sold. Somebody writes a person's name on it and puts a Post-it on it. And it goes over there. And after the sale, you invoice them.
yeah,
However you're collecting money, you invoice them." The next thing I hear is, "Oh, well, that's a lot of work." It's work. It is your job.
yeah.
There's work,
Here's the magic wand to make everything easy. Yeah.
So this is how you do it. Now you have to decide if that's for you. This
Yeah.
is the system. This is how you do it. This is how we've done it and how we continue to scale our business. But it's not magic.
Yeah.
There's work. So you put a post-it note on it after the sale, you invoice them, you collect the money, and you ship it. It's just a matter of making a system that works for you. I
So
find standing at the counter and checking people out and wrapping their stuff incredibly not boring, but I don't enjoy that part of it. So I get that you don't enjoy all of the parts of your business, but if
right.
this is a decision you're making, it's the process. It's the
That's
process.
that's right. We start small, we grow,
Yep.
we find a shipping area, we make that's how you started. You just
Yeah,
did it
so
on the counter. You did it on the counter when
yeah,
you started.
we just literally just started, and one day we had 5 orders to pack, so we did it at the front counter. The next week we had 10, and maybe we were down the hallway. There were times when we had orders lined up down a hallway, and me and my children were on the floor in the hallway packing. There are not a lot of people that will get down and actually do the work to make your
Yeah.
dreams happen. I'm just gonna we gotta pack this stuff, team. It's on the floor. Get down there. Here's some tape. Figure it out. That's what it takes
Yeah.
to figure out your systems and your process. It's not
Yeah.
going to be pretty. You're not going to have a shipping warehouse with bubble wrap machines and pretty labeled tape. You got to start on the floor. And that's what we did. It's down and dirty.
I love that. I just want to do a shout out as well too. It's been really fun watching you try to to go from sitting on the floor and
Mm.
with your kids, and your kids are still involved. They're adult kids now. She doesn't have her 5-year-olds there, although they were young when they
And
started.
I
Yeah.
have respect for that. I
Yeah.
have 4 children. My 4 children in 13 years have grown up in my business, so I understand seasons of life. Don't
Yep.
come at me with seasons of life because I had toddlers on the floor with me.
Yep.
I know seasons of life. Now I have young adults in shipping with me. We manage all of the seasons we're in. So another barrier is I have all these kids. Pay somebody $30 and go over here and do your work. There are strategies to overcome all of the barriers that you have. And I do think growing up with my children in this business has been the greatest gift because they have been in it. I mean,
Yeah.
it has just been a treat to have them grow alongside us. And now they have ownership of a business that we have built alongside them. It's remarkable. You have to look for the gifts in what you've been given.
Yeah. On a side note, I find it incredibly wonderful watching your team, because you love your team. You have a great team. You call them the tiny team. They're all awesome. They're all totally into your business and supportive, and they're just so good. And a big chunk of your team are your family. And I love that. I love your kids that are in there, and I know Ron supports you. It's incredible to watch how they've all stepped into their roles, and how you stepped out of some of those roles. I'm just going to say it's been fun watching
Yeah.
that evolution. And you're right. Every era, every few years we have, or every year, maybe lately it's been every couple of years, I think, for all
I
of
feel
us.
like it's every year.
It's oh, what is the evolution this year? But it's been wonderful watching that. And it still continues to be wonderful to watch that and have a little privileged peek at how you're operating everything.
And we have built an incredible team over 13 years, but that also was not without strategy and difficulty. Not every person has been a good fit for our team. And
Yeah.
it takes effort. And that's another thing. I don't have such a big team. Okay, we start at 1 and then you build where you need to.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can't compare where we're at. You can't
Right.
compare yourself to anybody. I look at some of our friends' beautiful shops and I have shop envy. Sometimes I'd like to have a beautiful boutique, but that's not my business. You
Right.
have to be realistic with where you're at.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other big team that you have, the team of your clients. So we don't have any kind of business if we don't have one. We have a wonderful tiny team, we have a wonderful leader now, and we have wonderful products. But and it means nothing if we don't have a wonderful team of clients. And
I agree.
you are very attuned to caring about what your customers care about. Like, you're just watching you and just knowing you and the words you use, and how it's genuine from you, because we don't have a business without customers. What are you doing, or what is the secret sauce for you because it's been, again, another wonderful thing watching you build your team, but also watching you build this community, and in all sense of the word community, in your audience. How, like, what is some tips and secret sauce that you think has, what's the mix there for you?
So I had an epiphany years ago when my business coach said to me, no one comes in your store to see a grumpy person at the counter.
Mhm.
And, we're shop owners, we're business owners, and it's not roses every day. You're carrying the weight of your company on your back. And when you said to me or to the group we were in, nobody is coming into your store, they can feel your irritation. It was a light bulb moment for me. And so that changed my whole perspective on my business approach, in that we are very strategic in pouring into our customers. And
Mhm.
it does not come from a place of pouring into them to get the sale. It comes
Right.
from a place of truly wanting to nurture people that have come into our life for whatever reason. We
Mhm.
are very good about being very responsive to each and every comment, question, inquiry, concern. We give them the highest level of touch, whether it's a $10 purchase or a $500 purchase. We will pour into our customers like no one I've ever seen. My
Um,
team, from top to bottom, from shipping to customer acquisition, really takes that highest level possible. And that's why I feel like we've been blessed, and I don't throw that word around lightly, with people that really support us and care about us in return. And
yeah.
I think that's the missing piece when it becomes transactional for you and not nurturing of your community. I think that's where you're going to see the disconnect. People can feel it when it's transactional versus when you're really caring about what you're doing. We love what we're doing, number one. But we also love when people come on, and after 13 years, I love when they find something that we have curated to be so special that they want to purchase it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole, and so that was the mindset change that I personally needed. It's not easy every day. I'm not gonna, like, it's rainbows and unicorns over here, but
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
mindset. When
Yeah.
we hit the front door, we have a whole team thing. If you're hitting the front door of this store, you're coming in with a happy heart, ready to serve the brand. And if you're not, you leave your crap outside. And if you don't feel like you can do that, then today is not the day for you to be here, because we serve with a happy heart. Whether we're serving each other and collaborating with a happy heart and a smile, or we're talking to our people online, it's your very best self. Nobody's here to see you grumpy and nasty.
Yeah. Which is, I never knew that was such
Yeah.
a shift for you. I do know that's something that I talk about a lot, but
Yeah.
I truly believe nothing happened. Like, we can't grow a team, a happy team, or a happy business, or a happy customer base without energy and enthusiasm. That is so palatable to everybody. And again, you're caring and you're high touch to people. And again, there's people listening right now that are like, I don't have time for that, blah, blah, blah. I just want to say the volume that you do of people and comments and whatever is no, unless you're higher, unless you're a multi-million comments a day, I don't see why you can't do that. And I always say, you're arguing, pay attention to the tension. You're arguing things. If you're arguing this, I just want to ask you to, like, maybe stop making assumptions about your own business too. So that's a little bit
If
of a
you
note.
have,
Yeah.
you can't tell me you don't have time to answer people
Yeah.
that are wanting to engage with you
I agree.
after you have
Yeah.
spent
Yep.
time, resources, and an energy trying to get them to see your page and to
Yep.
see your product. You cannot tell me you don't have time to answer these people that have taken time out of their day to reach out to you and to type something to you. You don't have time to answer them? Would you not answer them if they were standing in front of you? Who
Yeah.
are you? You don't have time? You're the Queen
So
of Sheba?
fine. Fine.
Answer your
Yeah.
comments.
It's so
What are you
true.
doing?
Yeah, so true. Okay, I know we could talk about this all day. I want you to tell us about, I just, because if you're listening to this now and you're wondering, okay, that's great. I, Amy has documented how she does it, how her team does it, how her system works, which again, I think is amazing. Like, just how her simple sticky note, all the things system. She is not, I'm going to say this because I know that there's no like crazy high tech stuff in this. This is all how her team works, and she's documented it all in a course. And I really think it's a valuable tool if you're looking for. So I want to encourage everybody, go watch Amy work and see how her team is operating at Schoolhouse Salvage. And we'll have all the links and all that here. Number two, I want Amy to tell us a little bit about who did you create this course for and how can we get it?
So I feel like the course is created for anybody at any spot of where they are. So I feel like it's got a workbook component, it's got a video component if you need to have me teach it to you in video format. Everything from pick your time slot, we call it pre-production. So pick your time slot, pick your platform, figure out your numbers, like what's your goal? Because we're not just throwing things at the chalkboard here. Are you trying to make $500 a week? This is what you're going to do to make $500 a week. We show you how much inventory you need to plan in your show to try and get to that $500 a week. So it's not like frou, come and buy my course and I'm going to tell you you should be doing social selling, because we don't should in Wendy's group. We're action takers. So you're going to get the workbook. And if you implement the workbook, the strategies from pre-production, planning what you're doing, where you're doing it, and when you're doing it, to the physical, this is how you're doing it. And I show you my spreadsheet. I show you the post-it note system. I show you how we rack things in the warehouse, which has evolved from the tiniest bookshelf to 85 shelves of products. I show you everything. I show you how we set up our shipping station. We call that post-production. I show you how we invoice people, and I give you strategies on how to make that fit with what you're doing. We're doing one thing. You can do something completely different, but this is the step. This is what you need to do. And we show you how to even put some marketing strategies around how to get people to see your show. And we tell you how to make a good show. You might not be the person to make a good show. You might need to bring somebody alongside you that brings the entertainment part. So we try and give you start to finish strategies that get you to the goal that you want to get to. We think it's pretty good and straightforward. You can buy it in several modules. If you already are doing social selling and you just want to do maybe how does Amy invoice and keep track of her spreadsheet, you can buy them in 3 modules, production and post-production, so you don't have to buy the whole thing. I'm not a teacher, but I'm happy to share my resources with you. The feedback we've gotten, Wendy, has been really good. So we've taken some people through the course. You get a 15-minute consultation to answer any questions from me, and I could give you some guidance, and that feedback has been great. So I'm pretty proud of it.
You should be proud of it. I say this, like, I don't say this as lightly. Again, you're saying you're not a teacher. You have been such a huge contributor to fellow mastermind members and inner circle members since the beginning. You're always sharing. That's what we do. We share with each other. But I will share with everybody that Amy is not, this is not a fluff course. This is what we do. Amy is a straight shooter, if you have not already been able to tell.
You didn't
Like,
get
you
that
are,
already.
you're like a straight shooter. It's like, stop it. Like,
Yep. I'm not the mindset person. If you need mindset, go somewhere else. I am
Yep.
an action taker. And if you want to get to here, this is how I get to here. If you want to know my systems, get the course, because you can buy all my systems that we've built over 8 years of trial and error. If you don't want to slog through all of that, buy the course, figure out it's so cheap, you guys. The return on the investment for the knowledge that we have given you on our systems is crazy, crazy.
I will throw in here that as her business coach, I was trying to get her to sell it for a lot higher. So she just you wanted to get it into people's hands. And I appreciate that too. I do appreciate that. So thank you for sharing all about social selling with us and explaining that to us. I also would love to know, is there anything else you'd love to share with us before we?
I could talk about it all day long because it is such a huge thing for me, and it has been for years. But no, I think if somebody wants to, I have the show notes over to you where you can buy the course. We have an Instagram. You can DM me at Live Social Selling on Instagram. It's just started. So if you're one of those Instagram people that are all on, there's 4 posts, but it's me, Live Social Selling. That's where you can find me. But yeah, hit me up. I'm happy to answer questions to an extent. Past that, you're gonna have to buy the course because I wrote it all out in the course.
Yeah, and because her coach told her to stop giving away all her.
I'm not giving away free information. Go buy the course.
Time is important. All right, Amy, thank you for being here today. We're going to have everything in the show notes for all our listeners, because I feel like everybody needs to at least attempt this and test it and go at least watch Amy. So thank you for being here today, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So thank you. All right. We'll see you all soon on the next episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Creative Shop Talk podcast. I'm so glad that you're here to join us this week, and I hope you found value in what we're sharing here. I want to remind you that our website has all of the show notes. You can find it at wendybatten.com/podcast. Everything that you need to hear about today's podcast is there. Also an opportunity if you need to reach out to me. If I can support you in any way whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. So thanks for joining us. Please leave a review, subscribe if you can, and never miss an episode. We hope to see you back here again next week. Thanks, my friend. Have a great week.